What is up, Doctor? Ha? Nailed it. Bugs Bunny, Warner Bros. Answer to Mickey Mouse, only with an actual personality. Bugs is his fast-talking, carrot-chomping, cross-dressing Groucho Marx here. That's right, Bugs is not a cute little rabbit. He is in fact a big dirty old hare. But alliteration was king back in the 30s, so Bunny it is. Well, let's have a look at the first Bugs Bunny cartoon, Porky's Duck Hunt. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, this cartoon's in black and white! Good catch. Back in the day, Looney Tunes was the cheaper, lower budget cartoons of Warner's, and were always in black and white, with Merry Melodies being the colour premiere cartoons that nobody liked because they were terrible. Other than Proto-Bugs, the fake bunny wannabe never appeared in black and white Looney Tunes cartoons outside of a few cameos. Okay, this is the first Daffy cartoon, but I swear, it's relevant. The thing is, Warner Bros. Like to basically make the same cartoons over and over and over again, because back then, no one ever noticed. Well, 1 year after the first Daffy cartoon, they would take this hunting concept, remake it, and put a white bunny costume on the duck and call it Porky's Hare Hunt. The perfect crime. The cartoon itself is fine. It's no Porky's Duck Hunt, but it is notable for a few things. The main thing being the early Bugs character, who at this stage has more in common with Woody Woodpecker. I mean, just listen to that terrible grating voice. No, not mine.
That's what you think.
This short was directed by Ben Bugs Hardaway, who later went on to co-create the Woodpecker, and his own nickname Bugs became the rabbit's famous name. This proto-rabbit himself has no name, though is often referred to as Happy Rabbit today because of some stuff Mel Blanc made up in his book. But it was never officially called that. Instead, on some model sheets it was just listed as Bugs' Bunny, as in, the bunny was Bugs Hardaway's bunny. A bit of a Frankenstein's monster situation here. This Proto-Bugs would return a year later in Presto Changeo, directed by everyone's favourite pretentious director, Chuck the Chuckler Jones. Here, the plucky hare bullies two poor dogs on the run from the dog collector. The Chuckler would later make Bugs more reactionary, destroying others in self-defense only.
Of course you realize this means war.
Not here though. The Happy Rabbit just harasses the daylights out of these two good boys, but at least they get the better of their tormentor in the end. The cartoon was fine. The best thing Jones does in it though is to not have the hare talk. He does still have that awful laugh though, which is just so grating. Here the Happy Rabbit retains the design from the previous short, but would get a big overhaul in its next appearance, Hare-um Scare-um. For this short, the real Bugs, Benny Hardaway, is back in the driver's seat. Well, what have you got for us today, Bugs? Oh no, I don't like this at all. He's like an Aldi brand version of Bugs Bunny. It was like someone was told to rip off the rabbit, but don't make it too obvious. They got the great colour down at least, and look, it's another hunting cartoon, so they already know the formula. Get used to it. I do believe that, at least internally, that this is the cartoon where the Happy Rabbit started to be known and referred to as Bugs Bunny. Cartoon wise, it's fine. It's like most early 40s cartoons, not for everyone. Well, let's give the Chuckler another crack at it. Maybe he can save the sinking ship. And, well, honestly, not too bad. It's a bit of an improvement. I think his design, now it mix up the classic look and that last disaster, is much better. His voice is still a bit of a mess though, but he's really starting to shape up.
Nice hobby. Mind if I watch?
The Chuckler even throws in the first appearance of Elmer Fudd, who is just getting out of his egghead phase. Who is egghead? Another time, because next up is the first real appearance of Bugs Bloody Bunny. 1940s, A Wild Hare, directed by legendary Tex Avery. Here Bugs again teams up with Elmer, and both have been redesigned nicely. I wouldn't say they are 100% there, but they're going 90. Elmer is much closer to his classic look than Bugs. He just seems to have a bit of a cold, going through some Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer phase. Bugs himself reminds me of Homer from season 1 of The Simpsons. It's clearly the character, but everything is just slightly off, particularly the voice.
Doc, your TV commercial said, family bliss or double our money back.
What's up, Doc?
It's so close to being the real Bugs. As for the short itself, it's fine. It's pretty slow paced by modern standards, but back in the day, this was like Star Wars. It blew people's minds. Nothing like this had really been seen before with its speed and crazy gags. It has my favorite Bugs Bunny bit where he pretends to be shot and dying. That gag is always a good time. The story is of course a hunting cartoon. It's always a hunting cartoon. When I did a portfolio preparation course in college, they made me redraw the same object for 6 months all day, every day. The idea being you would find more creative, interesting ways to draw and look at the object. That's Looney Tunes. They just kept making the same cartoons for years and years until they were forced to find ways to make it better and more interesting, like What's Opera Doc and Rabbits of Seville. You know what? It was worth it just for them. The big news I always hear coming from this cartoon is the audience reaction to it. Mel Blanc gave Bugs a new, tough little voice, a cross between a Brooklyn and Bronx accent. Well, as legend goes, once Bugs says his first line,
What's up, Doc?
the entire audience lost their fucking mind. It was the Pickle Rick of the day. Funniest shit ever. The reaction of the audience was later parodied in 1950 short called What's Up, Doc? Which was really good. I recommend it.
What's up, Doc? Hey, we got something, Doc.
This isn't the end of the story for Bugs' development though, as a weird Bugs would appear after this as a cameo in a Porky short titled Porky's Patient. Here he has the better design but the terrible woodpecker style voice. Bob Clampet's animation style also makes it look more like the earlier versions, as he does a wild Daffy Duck screen exit, something Clampett had made famous in his earlier Daffy shorts. Well, not to worry, because here comes the Chuckler to clean things up and did I say clean things up? I meant make things worse. He has Elmer back in his egghead look, which is bad enough, but the real head scratcher is removing Bugs Bunny's teeth. Apparently this was a redesign Tex had asked for when making a Wild Hare, but he didn't like it, so he had Rob McKempson redesign it again. Good old Rob. Chuck, ever the contrarian, used the reject design. He also changed the voice to a Jimmy Stewart impression, and Bugs' personality is just weird. Probably the most notable thing is the yellow gloves, which would be brought back in those new Looney Tunes cartoons on HBO, which are fine. From this cartoon and the Bob Clampett cameo, it seems clear that the studio was not expecting a Wild Hare by Tex Avery to be the smash hit it was, and these other cartoons must have been well into production before a Wild Hare released. Thankfully they fixed course, and in the next Bugs short by Frizz Freeling, Hiawatha Rabbit Hunt, one guess what the plot is about. Bugs is back to the Wild Hare template, and Warner's knew this was a winning formula as both shorts were nominated for an Oscars but didn't win. Losers. And that's all folks for this pilot. We learned a lot about Bugs Bunny and in some ways learned a lot about ourselves, like how we need to stop watching 80-year-old cartoons and go outside once in a while. This is nice! Boy, I sure did say a thing or two about a thing or two. Who knows what I might say next? Could be something good. Only one way to find out, and that's by liking and subscribing. Go on, you know you want to.